And welcome to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Freeman Owen Jr. He is the CEO of Financial Sources, Inc. Freeman, how are you today?
I'm just fine and glad to be back with you. We've got some great topics we have to discuss today. Let me just begin the show with sort of like a pressing issue that is retiring today versus retiring yesterday. And I can give you some prime examples of family members that had a difficult time. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily a difficult time, but they planned a little bit different, like my parents, for retirement versus the boomers today.
Yeah.
Now, let me give you a good example. When I was coming up as a child there with my parents, my father had a thing about couldn't wait to 65 to get that pension and Social Security. And that's all I would hear during the late 50s, early 60s. Free, I'm going to get that pension. And he'd get with his buddies. They worked in a steel mill, and they were laborers. Can't wait to retire. Well, you know, the retirement with my parents' era, it was safe.
Yeah.
It was predictable, their pension.
Sure.
And, you know, they relied on that predictable money coming in each and every month for their lifetime. Well, things have changed a little bit here. As a matter of fact, we boomers, and I'm a boomer myself, a number of us look at retirement a little bit different today.
Okay.
All righty. Because number one, we were thrown in, so to speak, into the 401k.
Sure.
And pensions are pretty well obsolete.
Yeah, kind of a thing of the past.
Yes, it is. You don't see pensions anymore. Only about 7.5% to 8% of the various institutions offer a pension. You have the federal system, the federal government, state and local governments. You have the union, and of course railroads. Now, what were we offered? In 1978, the 401k, the employer-sponsored retirement account.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, we had no training. Here, put your money in here every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And folks, more or less, who were boomers, when they retired with no training, they said, well, all right, I'll make a contribution. I expect to get something out of this. There's no options, and was not informed about the various distribution problems that comes out of an employer-sponsored retirement account. So there's a big difference between my parents and when they retired versus how we boomers retire. So we need more or less a tax-efficient plan, written plan.
Okay.
Alrighty. And we also, as you know, I talk about Social Security.
Sure.
I wanted to make that nice transition right into it.
Sure, sure.
Alrighty. So when folks have the difficulty of trying to discern or trying to understand how their employer-sponsored retirement accounts work,
Yeah.
alrighty, and they can compare, if they're boomers, with their parents and some of the pitfalls and some of the challenges today for us boomers. Well, we got some answers for them. So.
Absolutely. And Freeman, I'm just amazed because I'm sure you have so many questions, people that have a 401k today versus a pension, because like you mentioned, it's a totally different product. And a lot of times people are not schooled in what even to choose for their 401k options. And so it's a mystery versus years ago, like you mentioned, when people retired, you had the retirement party and there was a big cake and usually a trip somewhere. And now it's totally different. So you're probably seeing a myriad of questions surrounding this.
I most certainly am. And speaking of the big party, when, let me tell you, I remember my mother and father, what they would do is go to the bank and open up a savings account. And I share that story. My siblings and I, we opened up a Christmas club, 25 cents a week.
Aww.
And this is a true story. My father got a 15% CD. In the late 60s, he says, "Free, I got a CD." Well, his experience, he was not investment savvy, but he always had a savings account. But what he taught me, I carried forward, which was no training. Okay. And not, in other words, my parents did not know anything about investing or how to save or anything about estate planning or retirement planning. Well, in my 20s, I was able to make mistakes early,
Sure.
and learn how to plan for retirement after getting into this business. And I'll tell the folks out who are viewing this show, just ask Freeman. Because you don't have that many options when it comes to your employer-sponsored retirement account. And the distribution obstacles, I put it that way, that comes with an employer-sponsored retirement account. Now, when I talk about employer-sponsored retirement accounts, I'm talking about 401ks, TSPs, 403bs. So we need professional training. When it comes, you need a professional advisor that will help you and guide you through and making sure that you have guaranteed lifetime income from the instruments of which you were just sort of like placed in with no training. So they want to know?
They just have to ask Freeman.
Just ask Freeman.
And it's just so important to mention, too, that obviously approaching the retirement years, Freeman, without a plan in place, how scary is that for people when you think about it?
Well, it's very scary.
Yeah.
Life expectancy has extended for a lot of the boomers. 10,000 turns 65 every day.
Wow.
Now, the thing is, of that 10,000 each day, they don't know how to file for Social Security, how to maximize it, don't know how to bring in the employer-sponsored retirement account to supplement Social Security, or don't save money, prioritize other items coming through their plan with no plan for saving for their retirement.
Okay.
There are a lot of pitfalls to that.
Sure.
And with the employer 401k, I should say, or the TSP or the 403b, we don't get much guidance.
Right.
We're sort of like left alone with that.
Yeah, which is scary.
And you know what, Cindy? I always say, just ask Freeman. Get a written plan.
Absolutely.
A written plan that is such that you will have an idea how your money will carry you into the path of retirement and guaranteed lifetime income.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so that's very, very important.
Well, Freeman, you have a special offer to the viewers at home today. Can you tell them a little bit about that? We're about ready to open up the phone lines.
Okay. Well, you can get my text. All right.
Okay.
The 10 IRAs, the 10 IRA mistakes.
Okay.
Okay, and the tax traps that go along with that.
Okay.
I like to offer that to the viewers.
Okay.
And especially when they become clients, they really have a real education on how to take distributions from IRAs and other pre-tax instruments and avoid the costly mistakes that are involved there.
Sure, sure. That makes sense.
It makes plenty of sense.
Well, Freeman, this is the perfect time for us to go ahead and open up the phone lines to the viewers at home. Would you agree?
I agree. Just ask Freeman.
Just
Let's do
ask
this.
Freeman. To the viewers at home, that number to call is 833-414-7233. We know you have a lot of questions about how to plan for retirement, perhaps questions about your 401k. Are you in the right retirement plan? Do you need one designed from scratch? Freeman is offering you the opportunity to call. Remember, if you have questions about retirement, just ask Freeman. The number is 833-414-7233. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
And welcome back to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Freeman Owen Jr. He is the CEO of the Financial Service Sources Inc.
Sorry, right? Just Ask Freeman. You should ask Freeman on that one.
Freeman, how do I say this?
Just Ask Freeman is all. That's all that matters.
I love it.
But you know what, Cindy? Let me cut in here on this a little bit. We were talking about the pitfalls of different employer-sponsored retirement accounts.
Okay.
We can help because I've got some interesting questions that just came in.
Okay, perfect.
And we're going to cover those. But first, let me talk about the lack of having a real written retirement plan.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that folks have funds in different places, but they don't know how the monies or understand how these monies will help them in their retirement. They may have income-producing assets with a lot of volatility, some with that are fixed with some guarantees. But people don't understand how money works, and that's where they have to just ask Freeman if they really want to know how to navigate the pitfalls that are associated with employer-sponsored retirement accounts. And I want to make the transition now to some of the questions here.
Sure.
Okay. This lady asked, can I transfer my IRA to my children without a negative tax consequence?
Excellent question.
Excellent question. Well, the answer to that is no.
Okay.
Now, if you have your children as a beneficiary of pre-tax dollars or instrument like an annuity or IRA or whatever, you can minimize the taxes, but there would be some tax consequence if our children inherit the IRA today. Case in point. Now, I might have talked about the Secure Act on previous shows, but there are 5 major pieces to that Secure Act that was implemented in 2020. Number 1, and I'm going to bring in this sort of like an answer to this lady's question here, transferring the IRA to her children.
Okay.
The first thing is that the inherited IRA has been eliminated. You'll say, well, just ask Freeman, what is inherited IRA? The inherited IRA was implemented, it was a piece of legislation back in 2006 that allowed non-spouses children, grandchildren, mom, dad, non-spouses, to receive pre-tax monies already.
Okay.
And that legacy went to the children.
Okay.
All right. Oh, and they receive these dollars over their life expectancy.
Okay. So spread out, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, non-spouses, children, will be subject to more taxation because they have to remove these dollars within a 10-year period. Now, suppose, Cindy, I use this lady here. She lives to 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The children are under the age of 59 and a half. She leaves them $100,000.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's still in the employer-sponsored retirement account.
Okay.
They're under 59 and a half. That's a 10% penalty and 20% withholding. So I'll make it easy for brevity's sake, $100,000.
Okay.
That's a $30,000 tax liability. Just ask Freeman how to resolve that issue.
Absolutely, because we need help to navigate things like that,
Exactly.
Freeman.
And they can call 833-414-7233. That's 833-414-SAFE. You want to know how you can transfer your IRA to your children without
a negative consequence?
Without the negative consequence, just ask Freeman. Got a couple of other questions. This was key.
Okay.
What is the difference between the Roth contribution and the Roth conversion?
That's an excellent question.
See, these folks are really...
Yeah, they're paying attention to the show, and they're thinking about what they want to ask you.
Exactly. They're thinking about that. Well, Roth contribution. Excuse me. Well, what we can do with a Roth contribution, if you have a Roth 401k at work, you can just roll it over into, and I should define Roth versus a traditional IRA.
Okay.
All right. The Roth IRA is where you make contributions. I don't want to use Roth. It is an IRA.
Okay.
Which their criteria is a 5-year wait. You pay your taxes up front. All distributions, tax-free. There is no mandatory withdrawal like with the traditional IRA, and that goes back to the Secure Act now. If you're 70 and a half after 2020, then what happens is that you take your RMD, required minimum distribution, from that traditional IRA at 72. But a Roth, once you pay the taxes up front, 5-year wait, all the distribution is tax-free.
Wow.
See?
Okay. Okay.
All right. Now, the Roth conversion.
Okay.
Just ask Freeman. All right, now, again, we pay the taxes up front. Now, many people make mistakes. They want a Roth IRA where it's tax-free distribution. But, Cindy, what they do is they make the error of maybe taking the taxes out of a pre-tax vehicle, like a traditional IRA, and expose that distribution to taxes. Just ask Freeman where to get the money from to do the Roth conversion.
Okay.
Ring us at 833-414-7233. Just ask Freeman, 833-414-7233.
Freeman, it's so important to talk about these things, and I definitely want to mention how you don't have a cookie-cutter approach for every client that comes in. You have a design for your clients that's very customized, and it depends on what their needs are and their dreams are for retirement. So we do have to open up the phone lines again to the viewers at home. Do you want to tell them what they can expect to receive one more time?
All right. They can receive the text, the 10 IRA mistakes, and the tax traps.
Okay.
And how to avoid them.
Okay.
So we can navigate with a written plan. Let me tell you how this works. Everyone is different, like you said.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, I want to mention the fact, since we had the COVID, we've been the last year and a half doing virtual meetings there, consultations.
Sure.
We made that transition. We do the entire plan from helping you file for your Social Security, knowing when to file, how to maximize your Social Security benefits.
Okay.
Bring in your income-producing assets here's Social Security, to supplement your Social Security.
Okay.
All righty. And create guaranteed lifetime income.
That's amazing.
That client has, and each one is different,
Yeah.
have the peace of mind knowing that their money is safe.
Freeman, you could not have said that better. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. Would you agree?
I agree.
To the viewers at home, the phone lines are now open. That number to call is 833-414-7233. If you have questions about how to retire comfortably with confidence, being able to sleep at night, as Freeman mentioned, just ask Freeman. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call 833-414-7233. We have to take a very short commercial break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to have so much more about how to plan your perfect retirement. Please stay tuned.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place, then help determine if you are well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision. So why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you are getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
And welcome back to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I'm joined today by Freeman Owen Jr. He's the CEO of Financial Sources Incorporated. Freeman, a great show that we're having today, obviously talking about the importance of designing a retirement plan for people that are approaching retirement. We've talked about how it's not the same retiring today as years ago. And we also talked about how you don't have that one-size-fits-all approach. It's not cookie cutter. It's very individualized. It's very customized. So that is such a great testimonial to you. I have to ask you a question, Freeman. When you're designing a plan for someone, how long does that typically take?
It could take a few days, or it could take a week, or it could take a month. It depends, again, like you just indicated, that some folks, we have to do a little bit more research, and I always do my due diligence to try to come up with the best programs possible for that client. And it does take a little time because we do an assessment. We look at, let me tell the viewing audience.
Okay.
The first thing, when you want a tax-efficient plan, just ask Freeman. I want you to call 833-414-7233. Here's what we're going to get. I want you to go to ssa.gov, download, print out your Social Security statement.
Okay.
Then what we do, I have software that will we'll look at the various income-producing assets that you have, come up with different formulas, and we focus in on guaranteed income. How much debt do you have? Which is critical? Credit card debt, school loans. When do you plan to come out or separate from service? All those questions have to be answered.
Sure.
Can you wait and receive the additional benefit with Social Security?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let me elaborate just a little bit on that. Some folks are, say, 61, and we know that the first eligibility age for Social Security is 62.
Okay.
Now, what if that particular client that I'm helping say, well, I really don't want to take my Social Security benefit at 62 because I'll be my full retirement age is 67, and I like to wait till then. But their friends and relatives might have told them, you better get your Social Security at 62, which would be a 30% deficit or 30% less than what they receive at 67. So we have to, I would like for the viewing audience to get their Social Security statement. We'll run a Social Security report. I'll use software, whereas I'll ask the client to have their income-producing assets.
Okay.
We'll plug those in. Then we'll look at their debt level and risk.
Okay.
remove risk,
Yeah.
alrighty, and create for that client. And each one, like you said, is different.
Sure.
The peace of mind knowing that their money is safe
Yeah.
and their assets generate guaranteed lifetime income, Cynthia, they cannot possibly outlive. That's
Such
a great
peace
feeling
of
for
mind.
peace of mind, knowing that
Yeah.
money is predictable, free of risk, and I take the time. It's hard work. You take the
Sure.
time and to identify for that client exactly what they want and
Yeah.
what they see in retirement.
Sure.
Okay?
Freeman, is it important for a husband and wife to come in together for the consultation with you?
Well, since we've been virtual, yes.
Okay.
And we were doing it with the person-to-person, husband and wife.
Yeah.
I think that when I use Zoom or GoToMeeting or whatever
Yeah.
vehicle I usually have the husband and the wife there, and we sit down there for about an hour, like we do live.
Okay.
But I prefaced, asked them to prepare for the meeting. Simple. Go to ssa.gov, get your statement. I'll create a report, have your income producing assets so that we can give an in-depth review, find out exactly what they need or what they want in retirement, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now. So every client is, like I said, is different. Some folks want their Social Security early.
Okay.
Alrighty, and then what we do is come up with a way so that we have income to meet their eligibility age and stop the income from their asset and have the Social Security payout or benefit start payment then. So there's a lot of ways that we help different clients different ways.
Okay.
And everyone is unique.
Absolutely. And again, Freeman, all they have to do is just pick up the phone and call you and take advantage of that complimentary consultation. Is it ever too late to get started on a plan for retirement?
No, I got 1 minute. Never too late.
Okay.
You start from where you stand.
Yeah.
With the right guidance. Now, everyone, you might not be able to help everyone, but
Yeah.
most people you can help them if they did not have the opportunity to put funds away for their retirement. And so with this show, I just want everyone to just ask Freeman. Call us at 833-414-7233 for your complimentary consultation and your book. And Cynthia, I just thank you so much for being here on the show. I got a few more seconds. Just ask Freeman, and I'll leave you with the close as always.
Freeman, I always love our time together. Thank you for an amazing show. To the viewers at home, specifically, thank you for spending time with us. The number to call is 833-414-7233. Remember, the only phrase that you need to remember is just ask Freeman. Questions about retirement? Just ask Freeman. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. Thank you again for spending time with us. We'll see you back here next week at the same time, same location. Take care.